Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer and this is Metatron speaking. Today I have a message from you, message for you. There we go. From the Lyrans, Lyrans. Okay. Sorry guys, I do not know how to pronounce this to save my life. Um, so they were the feline version of the Lyrans. Two of them came to me for a message, which is something I requested. After being attacked by them, I asked Metatron to send me some to channel, and so he did that very nicely on the same day that I asked. The Lyrans that came, they're both female. One of them had mostly like black fur, and the other one had mostly orange fur, but kind of interspersed within the orange fur was black and white fur. Um, so the one with the orange is the one I'm referring to as Lyran number one, because they don't give names. So she starts off kind of trying to be funny. She starts off saying, "Greetings, Earthling," and then they both laugh. But that was the end of the jokes, okay? These were very serious beings. So they're both females. Got a really more of a serious type energy from them, despite the fact that she was trying to be funny to introduce herself into the conversation. They were both very dignified, kind of no nonsense, a little sassy, a little fiery. That's the energy they were giving off. So, Lyra number one, the orange one, she says, "I am sorry that happened to you today, twice." And she's referring to the attacks that I had had that day up until that point. Lyrans like that bring shame to all of us. They are just reptilians in a Lyran body. Not literally. Their hearts are hardened like a reptilian's, though. So this is when I noticed that the Lyrans have tails, like a cat, and they were swishing them in irritation, thinking about these reptilians. And then at that point, I was curious and I was like, "Do you have claws?" And they were like, "No." Just had to clarify. And I asked them, "Are you my guides now?" And she says, "No, you don't need us. You have plenty of guides." And she shows me who's around me and she's laughing. She says, "It's already quite the circus around you." And so I'm looking around, and of course, I have Metatron, and I have Michael, and I have Raphael behind me, and I'm used to them. My twin flame hangs out. My guardian angel, sorry guys, I hit my mic. My guardian angel that keeps my body alive until it's time for me to die. He's here, of course. We all have that kind of guide. Then I see the two mantids. I see a Pleiadian. So these are all the ones that I've channeled before. That one Pleiadian that I've channeled before, the two mantids that I've channeled before. Um, I see two of Ashtar's sons that work under Michael that always go with me into the astral realm whenever I'm doing, because it's dangerous work. So I get extra protection when I go down there. So they always come with me with their dragons. Then I see I have three dragons. I have two lions with like wings on them. So it really is, it's literally a circus. And I never noticed how many things were always around me. So, oh, and then Michael has a Pegasus that he will take with him when we go to the astral realm. And so that the Pegasus was like neighing. So it's kind of funny, but it really is a circus. So the Lyran says, obviously, there are more guides that you have, but they are hanging back until you call them forward. And then she looks at what I have though. She's like, but this is a lot. Um, and then I feel like, I don't know, I feel like her talking about it made everyone kind of show up because then I see like, I have a white wolf that's a guide that I almost never see, and it popped its head up. And then I saw a blue butterfly fly by, which I have it as a like a spirit animal, but I only see it when I meditate normally. I never see it in actual visions. But anyway, so I saw it. I see a skunk. I'm only going to bring this up because it's an animal from Ghana. I see a skunk that Michael gave to me as a gift Probably a long, long, long time ago, but it felt like a gift now because I don't remember anything. So it looks like a skunk, but it's pink. And instead of being stinky, it has like this really sweet, pretty smell that comes off of it. And so they're called mallies, Mallies. Mallies, that's the name of that race. And this one that is mine is called Malty. And so I was like, "Is Malty my guide?" And she's like, "No, she just hangs around." And so this Lyran is getting tired of talking about my guides because she wants to give me the message. So she says, "You know, I do have a message for you." And so I'm like, "Okay, sorry, I'm ready." So I thought the orange one was going to give the message, but the second Lyran, the black one, the black furred Lyran, steps forward. This one is not the smiling type, but the message is going to come from her. And her eyes are like this beautiful light green color. And so she says, in the beginning, when the cyborgs were still quarantined to their planet and peace still prevailed on our planets, we were innovators. We know how to combine beauty and form, technology with art. Just want to tell you, so as soon as I started reading this message, I'm getting a strong energy from the Lyrans. So just in case I start emotionally reacting, you all know why, because they are giving me energy right now. So we know how to combine beauty and form, technology with art. Nothing is created mindlessly on our planets. Everything has deeper purposes and meaning than what you see on the surface. We helped the Egyptians with their magic. Why do you think they worshipped cats? Many of our symbols and our style they adopted. We love gold jewelry very much. They would do their eye makeup to look more like a cat to honor us. We did not need this worship. I only tell you so that you may be aware. A few understood we were not gods, but most thought we would cause them harm if they disobeyed. There was still much conditioning in their minds that created separations between us and them. Other galactic races saw the receptivity of the Egyptians, saw their receptivity to them, to the Lyrans, and assisted them with other endeavors. We love jewelry. We understand how to use it to be more than a pretty thing. We understand cosmic powers and celestial impacts and how to manipulate energies. Some may call it magic or witchcraft, but we see it more as sorcery. By the way, I have no idea what the difference is, but that's what she said. We never seek to harm. We are mindful of the possible impacts of our abilities. We work together as a species and we work together with other species. We do not act alone, for that is the route to problems, to ego, to destruction. So, as she's pausing there, I become aware that the first Lyran has a personal message for me. It was like just knowledge that was dropped in my head. So then I was checking with the one I was talking to, like, is there more of a message? And she said yes. So we continued. She says, when the wars began on our home, we never could have imagined how many lives we would lose. We could not fathom that our homes would be destroyed. We have lost much of our artifacts, of our history. We are refugees now, welcomed into many planets, but badly missing our own. There is so much trauma from the things we have seen. No one should ever experience that level of evil, a total disregard for life. You remember your lifetime, Jennifer. That was only one of them. There were many, many more. You feel it. They're talking to me. You feel it. I see you wincing. There is a lot of trauma from war on that planet, and I have lifetimes there that I don't remember most of them yet. You feel it. I see you wincing. You feel the adrenaline. So many of you incarcerated on Earth, incarcerated, incarnated. That was the autocorrect. So many of you incarnated on Earth were here for these wars. So, this is the important part of this message for everybody who's listening. So many people who are on Earth right now were part of these wars that I'm crying about right now. All of the blueprinters were here for these wars. Here, as in on, part of Lyra, but also elsewhere, other planets for their wars. Always, you were there. It was your job, blueprinters. It was your job to raise consciousness. It was your job to understand the worst suffering. And she breaks down crying after she says that. And then she starts again and she says, I am still processing mine. She is still processing her suffering. We all are. This will take lifetimes to clear. Those who listen to this message need to be aware that they, the trauma, will be clearing. I said that wrong. Those who listen to this message need to be aware that they will be clearing atrocities that cause them trauma. You have lifetimes of war in you that need to be felt and released. It will not make sense to your human mind why your emotions are so strong when your life seems so average. Your suffering is from many lifetimes, and they come to the surface now. This is the right time. It's awful. These traumas are the source of your anxieties, your fears. So many little roadblocks created in your life right now from these lifetimes of war. Your souls were dramatically changed each time you incarnate. Sorry, I have an autocorrect problem here again. Your souls were dramatically changed each time you incarnated. Each war you incarnated into. That's what that's supposed to say. Each war you incarnated into. There have been so many. There have been so many wars. You wouldn't believe how many. All of them are the same battle, the same struggle for freedom and a right to live and a right to govern ourselves. Always the same groups oppressing the masses, enslaving them, literally or figuratively. Your planet, Earth, will not escalate to the wars that have been elsewhere, but you will have your own battles to face when the time comes. And that is the end of the message from that Lyran. So, the takeaway from this is that there are a lot of really big, really deep emotions that are going to be coming up, and it's not going to make a lot of sense to us why we feel so sad or so hurt or so angry, whatever the case may be. We're going to probably act like humans and try to give it a label and try to make sense of it. Oh, it must be something from this life. No, it's really traumatic stuff from other lives, but it's coming up now. But like she said, now is the right time for it to come up and be cleared. So be aware, be prepared for that. I went back to the first Lyran and I was like kind of excited. I was like, "So you have a personal message for me?" And she says, "What I have to say is not what you want to hear. I've come to give you lives, as in I've come to give you past lives." Um, I'm gonna give you a tiny bit of this conversation, not the past lives, because they are very traumatic, and you guys don't need to ex- you don't need to hear about somebody else's trauma if it doesn't serve you. Um, but there's a point for me giving you a little bit of this conversation. I want you to see the human side of me, not that you don't already. But so she says, I've come to give you lives, and I'm immediately like in a bad mood. I'm just like, how many? She says 4, and I said, ugh. And I said, I really don't want to, because every time I've seen one of these war lifetimes, it's been hard. And then she tells me, your trauma release has already started. You will only prolong your discomfort by avoiding it. Basically, the trauma wants to come out, the trauma wants to be cleared. I'm just going to be suffering longer if I don't face it. And I'm being like a human scaredy cat. And so I'm like, these lives are really bad, aren't they? I can tell. Like, I can just sense that this is like not going to feel good whatsoever. And she says, the better to get them out of you. As in, yes, they are traumatic, but that's why you need to get them out. So, very wise words from the Lyran on trauma release, and a very honest look at me during not my best moment, being like, do we really have to do more past lives? Because I do them sometimes every day, always every other day, I would say. And it's a lot. So that's the end of my message from the Lyrans. I don't get the feeling that they'll be back. I know that if I asked them to come back, they certainly would. I don't feel it because they aren't like a guide energy. I don't feel like I'm going to be interacting with them more in the future necessarily. Um, but I hope you guys enjoyed the message. I hope you guys got something from it, and I will see you guys next time.